Golf is hard is not so much a truism as a cliche at this point, but lots of things are hard. What sets golf apart is not its difficulty, but how confounding it is trying to get better at it, even if you are willing to put in the time and effort. But why is golf improvement so hard to come by? Part of the reason for this channel's existence is to document the process of what it looks like to get meaningfully better at golf. And while I knew it would be difficult, it turns out it's really difficult. Here are 5 reasons why it's so difficult to improve at golf. Google how to fix a slice. Actually, definitely don't. But if you did, you would get literally 208 million search results. And while there may not be 208 million different remedies served up, there would be dozens, if not more, suggested ways to fix your problem. Some may work, many won't, but either way, it's impossible to know where to start with such a wealth of contradictory information. And you can apply that across any single skill you're looking to improve in your golf game. It's not just websites and YouTube channels either. Not that long ago, some of the best players in the world were espousing theories about what works in golf that simply weren't true. Nick Faldo used to say that the ball starts on the direction of the club's swing path and curves back to where the club face was pointing at impact, which we now know, thanks to launch monitors, is just factually incorrect. Sorry, Nick, but that's just physics.
It's science.
It all means that, whether you're a beginner or a more experienced player, even trying to find out what to do to improve your game in theory is confusing enough. But let's just say you can find the right information and understand what it is you should be attempting to do. Well, then where do you actually start? While all sports have different techniques to master, tennis for instance, serving, volleying, forehands, backhands and so on, golf is at least 4 different games rolled into one, and each of them has their own techniques you need to master. To be good at golf, you need to have a handle on your driving, your approach play, your short game and your putting. Driving is the most straightforward because you can have control over your lie. And most of the time, the goal is the same. Advance the ball as far as possible while staying out of trouble. With approach play, you're looking to hit the green. But where on the green will depend on pin placement, where the trouble is, the shape of the green, the conditions. And that's if you can even be that optimistic, because depending on your lie, you might not even be able to go for the green at all. Miss the green and you'll possibly have a pitch shot, but that could be a pitch shot from 30 yards, or 50 yards, or 80 yards, or 100 yards. And again, where you're even aiming to land that pitch will vary massively. But perhaps you just missed the green, and all you need to do is chip it on. Well, is that a bump and run that only travels a short way before releasing, or a much higher lofted shot that stops quickly, or a nippy spinner that stops after a couple of bounces? Or maybe it's something in between. Okay, so you've made it to the green. Now all you need to do is just putt the ball into the hole. Just start it on the right line, at the right speed. And that's assuming you've read the green correctly. And none of that is to say anything about bunkers or recovery situations or playing out the trees or playing into wind or playing downwind, or the fact that course conditions can vary massively from one day to the next or from one course to the next. Why is improving at golf so hard? Because golf isn't just one thing. It's about 427 different things, and you need to be good at all of them. Okay, let's just take a breath. Yes, there's a lot to work on, but you can pick it off piece by piece. And by the way, if you do want to know how to structure your improvement, then check out my video on the ultimate practice plan. So we'll make a plan, we'll tackle each area logically and with focus, if we actually have somewhere we can go to do that. From the age of about 5 till about 35, I played football. Not at an exceedingly high level, but through school, through university, and then through Sunday league. If I wanted to practice as a kid, I'd just walk into my garden and kick a ball against the wall, or maybe even walk up the street and kick a ball about in a park. Golf, unfortunately, doesn't really work like that. Unless you happen to live backing onto a field and are happy with losing a lot of golf balls, or unless you happen to be Jason Day.
Hey guys, this is Jason Day. This is my barn facility that I use during the summer and the winter time to practice golf.
Practice means a dedicated trip to a dedicated place, if you happen to have one near you. Unfortunately, due to space constrictions, a lot of courses here in the UK don't even have driving ranges. Of those that do, almost all of them will have you hitting off range mats rather than turf. And don't get me wrong, that's better than nothing, but hitting off mats doesn't exactly replicate the conditions we actually play the sport in. Plus, this only allows us to work on 2 of those areas I mentioned earlier, driving and approach play. If you want to work on your short game, you'll need a dedicated practice area for that too. If your course does have one, chipping with range balls is kind of pointless, so you'll spend a good amount of your time going back and forth picking up whatever balls you brought with you. Putting greens are generally easy enough to come by, but they're often in bad nick, or just don't replicate what you're actually going to be playing on out on the course. Oh, and if you live here in the UK or in any kind of colder climate, they'll probably be closed half the year too. But enough whinging. We figured out the theory, we've broken down our golf game into the areas we need to work on, we figured out a plan, and we found a practice facility that will allow us to do that. Now we just need to knuckle down and put in the time. Or we could just go play golf instead? Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't a complaint. Getting meaningfully good at anything takes time, effort, and dedication. And that's exactly how it should be, otherwise the improvement wouldn't mean anything and everybody would do it. But golf as a hobby is a big time commitment. Even playing somewhere local, limiting your warm-up and not staying around to socialise afterwards, you're looking at 5 hours out of your day easy. Hit some balls beforehand, stay around for a drink afterwards, and it could be 6 or more. Add in just a couple of practice sessions and including travel time, you're looking at 10+ hours a week easily, and that's an extremely light workload if you're looking to make genuine strides.
Look at this. Look at what they make you give.
Knowledge, time, effort, focus, give them all and we'll get better, right? Maybe, because golf also asks questions of us on a psychological level, and unless we can answer those, even all the rest of it might not be enough. To be clear, I'm not talking about the nerves that affect you as you stand over a 5-foot putt to win your club championship, or even the psychological roller coaster of moods that we go through during an actual round of golf. The monkey mind, that chaotic, unsettled part of your brain, can hamper us even just when we're trying to practice. Yes, your schedule says you should be working on your putting today, but your drive was terrible at the weekend, so maybe you should switch to that instead? Or you're only supposed to hit 20 balls working on your long irons today, but those last couple were terrible, so let's just rake over a few more as well, eh? And yes, your coach says you should be working on your takeaway, but that Instagram video you scrolled past was all about shallowing the club, so maybe you can master that in the next 10 minutes. With so many things to work on, and so many ways to work on them, right, wrong, and everything in between, even having the discipline to practice in the right way when you can dedicate the time is a battle in and of itself. And truth be told, it's a battle I find myself losing more often than I would like. With so much to master in golf and so many plates to spin, making an inch of progress a mile wide is really no progress at all, because none of it sticks. As our boy Bruce Lee once said, he probably wouldn't have feared the man who jumped from TikTok to TikTok looking for the next quick fix. And yet, one of the very reasons why golf is so alluring, so addictive, is precisely because it's so hard to get better, so difficult to play well. It's why we look on longingly at the plus handicap in the next bay, or stare slack-jawed in awe watching the pros bomb their drives and stiff their approach shots. Starting to realise you are making progress, or those rounds where everything goes right, that's what makes the grind all worthwhile. It's why I became addicted, it's why I started this channel, and it's why I'm dedicating so much of my life now to getting as good at this game as I possibly can. And I dare say, it's probably why you are too. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.